Hi guys, welcome back. So we're here today with Money Tree Man as a guest for today, and topic for this session is PPI and current affairs. Okay, so let's just start off right away. What is PPI?
PPI is payment protection insurance.
Okay.
So basically, what it is, you had a lot of banks and financial institutions that were, when people were taking out credit cards, loans, mortgages, even loans for, say, like setties and stuff like that, they were getting people to sign up for this payment protection insurance. So what it was supposed to do in theory is that, say, if you lost your job or anything along those lines, became ill, and couldn't afford your payments on your credit card or your mortgage, etc., this was supposed to take over and make these payments for you. But what they was finding out is that a lot of these banks and financial companies were actually just adding it onto the policy without either discussing it with the person taking it out or by mis-selling it, so not being truthful in terms of what it was providing and then adding it onto the policy. So then you had the current, it's been about 3-4 years of a lot of the financial ombudsman. So the financial ombudsman, they look after the consumer side of finance. So in terms of like, we've discussed before, you have the Bank of England that regulate actually the banks and stuff, but in terms of for consumers, the financial ombudsman is a body that looks out for consumers. So we've had a big rush in terms of people trying to claim back their money.
PPI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you said so banks and companies would add PPI onto the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so? What does that actually do?
So
does that mean my payment is larger?
Correct. So that's exactly that. So your payment that you're paying for, say, your mortgage is £500 a month. Yeah. I wish it was £500, but yeah, your mortgage is £500 a month, but then by taking that PPI, your mortgage is then £520 a month. So it's an extra £20 premium.
Oh, so you're paying for insurance, just like you pay for insurance for a car.
Correct.
But usually you're not meant to actually pay for the insurance.
No, they were kind of like just scaring people into taking out this insurance. So it's playing on the fear of the unknown.
Oh, okay.
So they played a lot on people's emotions, like, you might lose your job, so you just want this just in case. But
so it's extra insurance to top the money.
Yeah. So it was just a way for the banks and financial companies to make an extra bit of dosh.
And the problems mainly arose as well when people either didn't know they were being sold it. So it was in your contract. Let's say you did lose your job, then they start coming for your house, right? And they take your house. You didn't know you had PPI, right?
Oh, okay.
And they now repossessed your house. Meanwhile, you paid for this PPI, you could have used it. Or they've told you that it's 100% you must buy this.
Yeah.
You must buy this PPI, right? It's mandatory, it's law, these salesmen were making loads of money, right?
Yeah, they must do.
So, and they got commission on every time they sold it. So you know, it was in their best interest to lie as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
But then they were selling it to people that couldn't take out the PPI even if they were in that sort of position. Let's say you got a mortgage on a right to buy scheme, you couldn't use PPI to pay if you lost your job. Like, all of these things were just mis-selling in so many different ways.
Even my personal example, I had a part-time job when I was going to uni to do it. And when I took out for my laptop, and they were like, yeah, take out, but it wouldn't have covered me because I had a part-time job. So it had no benefit or use to me having PPI.
Okay.
So yeah, you basically had insurance that was useless.
Yeah.
Some places.
Yeah, but is there like surely the government regulates it. Like, how is this allowed to happen?
Well, this is what's happened now. Where
how is it allowed to happen if?
Well, this is the situation we find ourselves in now, as I mentioned about with the financial ombudsman.
Yeah.
They found out that a lot of this was mis-sold. So now they're getting consumers to the big reclaim. So to reclaim the money that they spent on their PPI. So you can go back, I think it's 10 years, up to 10 years that you can go back to and reclaim your money. And then basically what they're supposed to do is refund you everything you paid plus 8% interest.
Yeah.
So And that's the thing for me. That's about why this conversation is relevant. That you see all the people on the TV about, have you been sold PPI?
Your PPI, yeah.
You can use them, but what make note, two key things. One, they charge a high commission. So a lot of them charge like 40%.
Just to help you claim your own money.
Money back.
Which you can do yourself.
That's the thing. And then two, if you're already in debt, so this is what people didn't realize is a big one. So say you had a credit card and say you got £7,000 on that credit card. You reclaim PPI but through one of these companies. But the money you was getting back on the credit card, say, was only £4,000. So you don't actually, what they would do, what some people do in the PPI, if you still owed a balance, instead of giving you the money, they'll say, we'll take it off your bill. So they take, say, $4,000 off your £7,000 bill, but then you still got to pay these people who went and done the PPI for you.
Wait, break that down again. So basically,
break it down. Wait,
so I think I've got it.
Yeah,
You're basically saying that if I was missold PPI on a credit card first, and then I use a PPI company to help me claim it back, the credit card company will only just reduce. So
if you still had an outstanding balance,
if I still had an outstanding debt with the credit card company, they'll just net it off against that balance. But then I still have to go and pay the PPI company that helped me set this up
out of cash from your pocket.
Out of my own pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm out of pocket. Does that make sense to me?
Yeah. And this all comes.
Basically, you come to my bank, you come to me, you said you need a credit card for £7,000. I give it to you, but I whack on a PPI insurance.
Yeah.
So you then find out about this, and then you go to a PPI company, Nick, to
claim your money back.
From me. But what I do is that when Nick contacts me, I just say, oh, actually, okay, I've missold you PPI. But you owe me £7,000. Your PPI is only worth £4,000.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to reduce your £7,000 balance. But then Nick says, I still need to get paid. Guess who's paying him?
Me.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you're out of pocket. So it's just the same. So people need to be careful when they use these companies because they want their money regardless. Because usually in the ideal scenario, you're not supposed to have any. If you paid off all your money already, so what they would just do out of your winnings, because not winnings, because it's money you're owed.
Yeah, it's money anyway.
But out of your winnings, they will just take the 30% from that. So if you won £2,000, they'll take 30% out of that £2,000. But in scenarios where you still actually owe the company money, they're just reducing their balance.
So you're better off not having.
That's what I'm saying.
Short story, PPI equals bad. And the problem with the example Nick just gave as well is it's so simple to claim it back. Like, it's ridiculous. And there are tools out there, even if you know nothing, right? The money saving expert, which all have
go
tools.
To financial
Exactly, You write your name, your address, the bank that you may have taken PPI out with, and you can put in all your banks, just in case. Go and do it, right? They will write a letter for you. It's a formatted, tailored letter, right? And send it to the bank. If they don't reply in 30 days, they have procedures that they can... Each one has a different one. I won't go into it now. But it's literally that simple. It takes 2 minutes, right? And you get an email updated every single month with this is where it's going. You don't have to go call that 0800 number.
So there's no need to use these companies that go on TV and say, you've been sold.
Literally Google.
So you can do it by yourself.
Not at all.
Okay.
My question though would be, so I started looking into this and with one of my banks, but then they wrote to me and says, oh, we've received your complaint, even though I didn't make a complaint. I was just...
But they still class it as a complaint.
Okay, they class, and then they sent me a form to fill out saying, what do you think? But I don't know.
Because some of them try and be sneaky to get more information out of you if you slip up, and then they're like, nope, we don't owe you nothing.
Also, they know people won't know.
As well.
How will you know if you're going to sell something? You won't know. You probably don't keep every single piece of paperwork you get, right? This is literally just bank scare tactics. The same scare tactics that he probably used on you to get the thing in the first place.
So how do I get around that then? Because I want my money.
No, you can still do it, but
what do you actually do?
In the worst case scenario, I've had those ones when I've done it for other people. You can still fill it in, send it back. But if you still feel that they're kind of being pushy, same for what Andrew was saying, those templates, you can send that template off to the financial ombudsman.
That they sent me.
Yeah, because in the worst case scenario, because I've had that in another situation where they batted back and said, no, I'm not doing it. And the person I was doing the PPI claim for, I then sent that to the financial ombudsman. They went back to the company and then the next minute, dear so and so, we owe you. And so as a worst case scenario, I said you could always go back to the financial ombudsman.
Cool.
And they're saying that's free.
Do that. Just send them a letter.
Yeah, you just send them a letter. Or even go to there's a tailored form
from the financial.
Yeah, and you just put as much information as possible on there that you can recollect.
I'm doing that.
And and that's another thing. Just quick, it's a quick one. And I think it's end of this year though. I think they're wrapping up.
I thought it was 2019.
Is it 2019 then?
Yeah, I think it was 2019.
So that people have to claim on their missold PPI. So
wait, what is it? So before 2019,
what
has to happen?
That's the claim. That's for your PPI.
That's the last time to claim.
PPI for how long? For the last 10 years?
I think it's indefinitely. So going back as far back as PPI existed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens after 2019?
You can no longer claim it back through this procedure anyway.
Banks have already paid out billions. You have to
Yeah.
understand, it was a massive scandal when it first broke, and they've had to. That's why a lot of them kept making losses because they kept having to
pay out PPI.
Barclays, yeah.
Excuse me.
Lloyds, a lot of them just did it because it was 3 months. Think about it.
Yeah.
Whack on £4 for what 30,000 customers.
Yeah. It just multiplies over and over.
Yeah,
exactly that.
Okay. So what happens after 2019? What happens to PPI?
You missed the boat.
You missed the boat.
So can companies still charge PPI?
No one charges PPI.
No one charges anymore because of the scandal.
But in terms of for you
to
claim your money back, if you feel that you've been missold PPI, you've got till 2019 to do that. I think it's been running. Yeah, it's been a good number of years.
Yeah, it's about I think at least 5 years now it's been running.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so after this whole scandal, is there any tools set up by the government or financial institutions to help people in the case they can't pay back anything? Is there anything alternative to PPI that's being put in place now?
To help who, sorry?
So you guys said PPI was there to help consumers in case they defaulted on their
loans.
Right. Is there anything right now as an alternative to PPI?
You will have to check with the company, who your financial institution is. But there's usually some, when you, for example, car finance, you can buy additional insurance to say if something happens, that your finance will be paid off on a car. So I'm sure it exists for other financial products
as well. So get something similar, but it's nothing as generalized as PPI.
PPI was just like
a general
umbrella, to say, oh, you need it. You need this because you might lose your job, you might lose an arm, you might die.
I'd say as well,
probably
even if it gets to it, look into life insurance as well. Because if you have a mortgage on your house, and let's say your family is a one-income family, and God forbid you pass away, now your family doesn't have anything, right? With those sort of situations, it might also be good to look into a financial advisor. Now, a really good financial advisor would tell you before you hand any money to them that they are going to save you this sort of money with the advice that they're going to give you. And so when it comes to things like, I've got this loan, if something goes wrong with my job or, a whole host of things can happen, what should I do? Before they give you any information, they should be able to tell you, this will save you X amount of money, pay me, and then I'll tell you, here's where you can, put your money to insurance or some form of protection for you and your family. That isn't PPI.
Yeah. Okay. But where do people go out and find this kind of information? Because from my perspective, from what I know of financial advisors, they all seem like for people in sort of upper echelons of society. So you have to earn a certain amount to go to HSBC, to sort out your wealth. All these wealth management companies. You have to be a certain level to actually do these. How can an everyday person, teacher, bus driver, find information like these?
There are financial planner companies, so you can literally Google these.
And these are all independent as well, which
they're
is better.
Yeah.
Not better but they have a wider scope of the market.
If they're linked to a particular company, they have to push that company's products and stuff. But if they're independent, it's same thing with an independent mortgage advisor.
Yeah.
If they are independent, they can recommend not just mortgages from a Halifax. They can recommend NatWest and etc., etc. So,
But you just said if they're linked to a certain company, they have to promote the company. Surely there's a bias there.
Exactly that.
so that's why we say
Yeah.
find an independent one.
Okay.
Yeah, independent financial advisor or independent financial planner. There's a lot of them. Literally, Google searches are the first place to start. People in your local area, like you, Google will even bring up the ones in your local area, or word of mouth asks for family and friends to recommend, because you'll tend to find that people in your circle actually do have financial advisors.
But watch out for the conmen, because they are out there.
It's true.
Like, there are plenty of conmen, and I, for the life of me, I can't remember the websites. I'll find it and you guys can stick it in the description.
Nice.
But you can go to, I can't remember the website, but like you can find a list of certified financial planners. To become a financial advisor, you have to gain, I think, it's a level 3.
The IFA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then plus, also they have to be FCA registered.
That's
one
the
of
one.
the key. So make sure they're FCA.
If you can't find them on this journal, don't use them.
Yeah.
Don't have them. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Have you guys got any, like, just final on the insurance, but have you guys got any, like, funny stories about, like, conmen and, like, insurance, PPI, or, like, wealth management? Have you guys met any of these people?
The best one I know of is that someone I used to work with. She she no, she wasn't a conman. She wasn't a conman. But she saw one of these adverts on PPI. She was about to go and speak to these people, and she actually read a blog post saying, "Don't use these people. Just write a letter to your bank." She wrote a letter to her bank the day before she went on her honeymoon. So, cheeky, when you're planning a wedding, you just write a letter to PPI. That's what you do. That's part of the process. And she came back from her honeymoon, right, 2 weeks away, to a letter saying, "Yeah, we owe you." And I'm not joking, right? It was almost exactly the cost of the wedding.
Wow.
So she basically, obviously, like, she did hand over her money, but she got money she wasn't expecting in a windfall, not counting wedding presents either, but like, it was to the point where she didn't have to worry about any of the wedding expenses because
that covered it.
Yeah, it covered it.
Wow.
And that's just how easy it is.
As I was saying, for me, as I said, it wasn't conmen or anything, but as I said, the experience I described to you, as I said, by going to the third party companies, if you're not realising
How much
they're charging, or your circumstances of what you're claiming back, as I said, and that by going to the third party, because they actually still owed money, it ended up they were out of pocket, so it made no sense to do it. So that's the only thing that I've experienced and gone through.
So basically, conclusion is do it yourself. It's easy. Like use use Money Supermarket, Financial Ombudsman. Literally, you can Google them, and they'll give you forms. Just type in these names and PPI next to it. We'll come up with the forms.
Forms and people
Straight off, just put in all the names of your financial institutions. I even did it for like my master's loan, just in case. They wrote back. They actually wrote back to me and said, "No,
we don't put up student loan."
No, I declined. No, because my master's loan's from a bank.
Yeah, it's from a bank.
So I declined it because I got that's happened for me. So because I declined it because of what was going on in the situation. I did get offered it.
Really?
So I took it now.
We might have to look that up.
I didn't think about that.
All of them.
Basically, we're gonna have to take our own advice.
All right, cool. Thanks so much, guys, for that bit on PPI.